I love One Piece theories. Now, I know that's a pretty bold statement given the title of this video, and I don't want you to feel misled, so let me explain. In every community that involves a progressing story, fans of that story are always prone to making assumptions about where the future is headed. This is not inherently a bad thing. Speculation, the formulation of thought yet to be realized in the actual story, is a part of the experience. However, some people, like myself, enjoy taking it a step further. We like to break down our knowledge of the story through analysis and reoccurring themes to try and better predict what could happen in the future. This is known as a theory. The thing about theories is they're fun, however they can be equally as dangerous to those who find themselves a bit too deep into what they think should happen to the story. Now, I want to restate how much I enjoy theories, but it's also good to understand the gray areas in which theorization can become toxic and harmful to a community, and how to point these things out within yourself and others. It's also good to understand for those who enjoy formulating theories that 99% of the time you are going to be wrong in some form or another, and you should never expect for your theory to be exactly right. It is important to have confidence in your theory, especially when you have a really good one and if you have a good track record. However, it's just as important to humble yourself when you get one wrong and not let it ruin your enjoyment of the story. I'm going to keep this video spoiler free, but a very big event did just occur in the series, and there were a lot of theories surrounding that specific event before it happened. Some theories got it much closer than others due to their immense attention to detail and consistent credibility. Some theories were very solid theories, but they still got it wrong, and some were just playing off the bandwagon. There is probably somebody out there who guessed it correctly, but no one on the live playing field was exactly correct to what actually happened in the story. The funniest thing is that so many of the theories that were close were just missing one crucial detail that another person had already considered. If they had combined their respective theories, they would have hit it right on the money. So you see what I mean? No one is ever going to predict exactly what the author has planned to a T. You may get closer than others, but the vast majority will be wrong, and that's okay, and should not take away from the fun of theorizing nor the enjoyment of reading the story. In order to better understand what constitutes healthy theorization and toxic theorization, I formulated a list of characteristics to become more self-aware of. For those who enjoy making theories, I think it's very important to understand the nuance of these terms. We've already established what the difference between speculation and the baseline theory is. Speculation being a quick idea based on a recent event, and a baseline theory is a formulation of past events and running themes that could potentially lead to another event yet to happen. So now let's go ahead and get a little bit more detailed. I've broken down the baseline theory into 4 subsets: external theorization, internal theorization, hybrid theorization, and tinfoil theorization. External theorization is the collection of properties outside the realm of the story in order to predict something within the story. A great example being the application of Greek mythology to form theories. One Piece is obviously not Greek mythology, but Greek mythology is used as inspiration constantly throughout the series. Thus, in order to predict things that haven't been revealed to us yet, we pull from other stories and characters within Greek mythology to try and create connections to predict a future reveal in the story. The interesting thing is how insanely accurate these theories can be, since mythology is such a huge inspiration for a series like One Piece. However, the dangerous thing is that when dealing with external properties, there are a huge amount of things that can sound or be interpreted to mean the same thing. So it's less accurate than internal theorization based on the fact that external properties are not created by the author, who can change them into whatever way he thinks will fit the story best. The fact that there are so many similar things out there a theorist can draw connections to leads this form of theorization to get a little bit messy. Internal theorization is theorizing purely off what information we already have in the story. This type is usually used for people who power scale, but can also be used more as a concrete way of predicting future events. Internal theorizing tends to be more accurate than external theorizing, since the predictions being made are based off of the story itself rather than a vast amount of external properties that one can pull from. Examples being the narrative, consistent themes, character personalities, events in the story, quotes made by certain characters, and even the chapter/devil fruit number based theories are a part of this category. As you can see, the accuracy in which internal theories can have is definitely on a spectrum, but generally formulating theories based on the story will lead to a more accurate theory. So as you can probably tell by the name, hybrid theorization is a combination of the two, internal theorization and external theorization, where one pulls from external properties as well as as internal properties to formulate a theory. This is probably the most common type of theorization out there in regards to One Piece. Hybrid theories are great, and probably my favorite type of theory. This is because I love external theorization if it makes sense within the internal properties of the story. I think that hybrid theories allow for the most amount of creativity and wiggle room when it comes to generating ideas. It can make completely insane concepts sound incredibly accurate, and with a story such as One Piece where insane things are always happening, the limitations of hybrid theorizing can be endless. However, there are still things that separate a good theory from a bad theory, and that's how we get our fourth category of theorizing, the tinfoil theorization. Tinfoil theorization in a nutshell is basically what it sounds like. It can be external, internal, hybrid, but the fundamental core of the theory is closer to speculation rather than an outcome reached through extensive analysis, research, and understanding. It's basically the flat earth of One Piece theories. Examples being ZKK, Zoro kills Kaido, Enel healing the scabbards, Odin still being alive, etc. There is definitely a gray area in there too, with theories like Momo being Joy Boy and Crocomom type theories, where you can create convoluted points to make the theory sound more accurate, but in the end they just aren't credible theories, and there are so many things to quickly shut them down, like Luffy having way more Joy Boy characteristics than Momonosuke, and Oda literally saying that Luffy's mom is not relevant to the story. And I'm really not trying to attack anybody directly because I know a lot of people enjoy tinfoil theories. They can be really fun, sure, but tinfoil theories are the most common way to fall into the self-serving theory fallacy that I'm about to explain, which is the true and most pressing theory issue affecting the One Piece community today. The self-serving theory fallacy is a hard topic to discuss, which is why I spent so much time diving into the nuance of theories before explaining this concept. A lot of people out there create really good theories, and a lot of people out there create really bad theories. And please don't get this construed, because both the good theorist and the bad theorist could still end up with the same problematic mindset, leading them towards less enjoyment of the series or dropping it entirely. Basically, the self-serving theory fallacy is a fallacy in which the theorist takes on the mindset that if the theory they created is not realized, then the author has ruined the story. That their theory was the only way the story could have gone in order to be good due to how attached they became to their own idea of where the story should go. Now, don't get me wrong, an author can still write in a way that the majority of a fan base considers bad writing. However, this is not the case in the One Piece community, where we constantly see an influx of people creating theories, good or bad, and then getting upset and turning away from the series because their theory was wrong. Getting a theory wrong does not validate criticism. Inconsistent narratives, themes, bad pacing, bad paneling, bad story structure, these validate criticism. Even if your theory is well thought out, extremely analytical, based on common storytelling principles like consistent narratives, but the author goes in a different direction, still inclined with those things, just not the way you wanted, this does not validate criticism. However, if the author goes in a direction that completely goes against the running themes, narratives, and core ideas of the story, that validates criticism. Not because what you wanted to happen didn't happen, but because the direction the author took with the story was inconsistent, and the vast amount of fans of the series are now extremely disappointed in the change in direction. In other words, just because one has a really detailed, super thought out analytical theory does not automatically constitute the direction the story must go in order to be good. Granted, the person's theory could still have the potential to be a great direction for the story to go in, but the author can still go in a completely different direction and still produce a good story. And if the person who formulated that theory is disappointed in the direction that the author took purely because it's not the direction they predicted, then that's not a flaw on the author's part, but a fallacy of the theorizer. Thus, we have the term, the self-serving theory fallacy. Again, I really don't want to come across like I'm attacking any individual person. This is an issue expressed in many individuals, and I think it's important to become more aware of it, especially if you yourself have done it, because the more self-aware you are of this issue, the less likely you are to ruin your own enjoyment of the story. And I know I've already said this a couple times, but theories are fun. I think the majority of us will agree that, theorizing is just a fun thing to do. We love creating ideas, we love speculating, we love theorizing, some of us more than others, and that's okay. Just remember to be careful to not let it ruin your enjoyment of the series. Theorizing in a community like One Piece with other YouTubers and other people in the community, fans of the series, it's honestly some of the most fun I've ever had in my life. And that's really the true goal of a community, right? A community is supposed to increase your enjoyment of a series like One Piece. All of the people who enjoy the same thing coming together brings an extra layer of excitement to the series, and it's something I've really grown to appreciate. That's why I started creating these chapter reaction mashups every chapter drop to present the excitement to you, the viewer. If you want to relive that excitement again, like the last chapter 1044, click this video right here within the next 3 seconds.